My name is Joy Simonton. I'm the county's purchasing agent. I've been in my field in the public sector for 20 years. Love what I do. There's a logic and a balance and a transparency to public sector purchasing, and that speaks to me. And so we get to talk about that today, how we get this done at the county. As purchasing agent, I report directly to the county judge and commissioner's court. I'm responsible for leading and overseeing the purchasing department by directing the planning, administrative functions of the department, and to assure we're obtaining the best possible value for the residents of Williamson County. The purchasing department works collaboratively with other county executives, elected officials, and department heads to ensure purchasing compliance, implement purchasing strategy, and establish policies and procedures to achieve the goals and objectives of the Commissioner's Court. Our mission statement: the purchasing department serves to acquire goods and services essential to the operation of Williamson County government for the best value possible in compliance with the Texas Local Government Code and the policies set forth by the Commissioner's Court. We seek to remain a results-oriented resource that seeks opportunities for cost savings and the broadening of our vendor base. We provide more than 20 years of ethical and transparent business practices founded in the fairness and committed to the public trust. Our success is assuring that the Commissioner's Court trusts our recommendations, that end users and departments work collaboratively with us and know we're going to support them to achieve what they need to achieve. Our value to the organization is our trustworthiness. Purchasing law. Our shop is heavily regulated. There's a lot of oversight, thank goodness. You want to make sure that spend is legal, that spend is not being given to someone's relative, for example, right? We have a lot of internal controls to achieve that. You want to make sure that the budget that's approved for your department, that those funds are being spent on what was presented in the budget, and that we're within budget, that we're not going over, and we have a lot of levels of oversight for that. Williamson County Purchasing operates in accordance with various laws and codes. The primary laws for the County Purchasing Department are the County Purchasing Act, Texas Local Government Code, a number of codes that we monitor and enforce. And these statutes set out the basic competitive requirements for the procurement of goods and services. Additionally, the county follows procurement requirements outlined in the Texas Government Code, slightly different than the local code, as they relate to pay policies, professional services contracts, and construction procurement contracting, which is a little different. We operate within a very strict code of ethics, folks. We are constantly monitoring and guarding against any personal gain, any undue influence in a purchasing decision that shouldn't be there. We monitor conflicts of interest very carefully, meaning a county employee or elected official, we're constantly monitoring, do they have an ownership interest in any of the contracts being recommended. We discourage, of course, it's illegal, any gratuities or kickbacks. We monitor contract clauses very carefully. And we're also very careful with confidential information. In fact, this is an interesting topic. We are going to have to start actively discouraging, even more than usual, contractors submitting anything confidential. We are very public facing in anything that is recommended through the purchasing department. We like a vendor's proposal to accompany the item on a Commissioner's Court agenda. It often accompanies the contract itself. So we are now taking an even stronger position to make sure that vendors don't provide what they think is confidential because we are forward-facing and transparent on everything we recommend. When we go to work is after the budget is approved, right? You've heard about the budget cycle, and a budget is determined where end users request from the court what they need to run their shop, law enforcement, etc. We go to work after that. So here we encourage departments, because there is a cycle here, to begin their vendor conversations early, November and January, additionally in February and March. And then the budget submissions are in the spring, budget gets reviewed and approved over the summer, and then everyone starts to buy their items in October. And that is our busiest time of year from October through December. Everyone has their new budget money and gets to work on their department initiatives. During that time, we do not allow our team to go on conferences or many vacations because we are shoulder to it, issuing an enormous amount of purchase orders to get everyone going for their year. Our volume, I have not updated as to 24, but our 2023 purchasing department volume, we provided oversight on over $350 million in spending. We processed 2,985 purchase orders and added 84 new vendors to the county's operation. The reason that's an exciting and good number, as you can imagine, with all of our growth, right? We've got to have enough participating vendors to help us get this work done. So we're constantly recruiting quality business partners to help us with everything from janitorial to road construction, uniforms, all the things. How many departments provide Wilco services? 67, folks. 67 departments run public services for Williamson County. We maintain a relationship with each of those departments, helping make sure they are compliant and legal in how they spend their money. A little graph on the procurement process itself. The procurement function takes place after the Commissioner's Court, as we've just talked about, approves the annual budget. Procurement provides support to departments to assist with purchasing products and services that are needed. Our internal controls support and assure that budget compliance and competitive sourcing and fair and open competition processes are in place. And when we go to work on a larger spend, one that requires a designated specification, that we go through our internal controls, meaning has contract audit, has budget, has IT, has facilities, reviewed what we're up to. We verify all of that, and then we go to market with our competitive sourcing, with our bid. We'll talk about that shortly. And then we take in our responses, we analyze those responses, and award based on best value. How do we buy? This is the nuts and bolts of it. Under $20,000, one quote is required, one written quote. Between $20,000 and $49,999, we do have cooperative vendors. We touch upon that in a minute. If there's no cooperative vendors, then 3 written quotes are required. And why are we asking for more quotes at that level, right? The more we shop something, the more likely we are to spend some money. Just like in our homes when we're shopping a plumbing repair or carpet cleaning or car repair, we're going to source a few different places before we make a decision. At $50,000 and over, state law requires that we do go out for a formal competitive solicitation. That's when we advertise, we form a committee to make the decision. We do have the ability to use a cooperative contract, which is something that's been previously competitively bid, and Commissioner's Court must approve purchases at that level. Just a quick visual of the things that we buy, all kinds of things. Road construction, parks maintenance, playgrounds, IT, hardware and software. We support the Veterans Services Office, the animal shelter, the judiciary, law enforcement, the health district, our facilities department, EMS, you can see the stretcher and the ambulance there, and our facilities department who are designing and building our buildings. Lowest and best. I'd like to touch on this just for a minute because there is the old adage, right? Sometimes people elbow government in that, oh, it was low bid, so it's a crummy result, right? And in fact, at the county level, we award based on lowest and best. We don't just have to take low bid. We are looking for lowest and best, meaning even in an IFB for road or piece of equipment, we're looking at someone's references. You know, have they been successful before with this type of a contract? What is their warranty on a piece of equipment? We are looking for lowest and best. So low price, right, gets the conversation started. We're looking to save money. We are then looking for the best, right? value for taxpayer money. Our savings through solicitations, we track a 3-year period on this. This is a figure we're very proud of. We can put $31 million in savings on the board over a 3-year period. Anytime we go out for bid, folks, we're averaging a savings of 7.13%. This is cool. I'm going to share this for a minute. There's often a wonder on, how do we reach out to vendors? How are vendors notified? And in fact, nationally, there's something called a commodity code. It's been put in place by the National Institute of Government Procurement. Every single category of things that we shop for and bid within government has a code. This is a sample of what the code looks like for pickup trucks, for example. You can see that 072 is the code for trucks. And then within that code, there's a breakout code for the weight of the truck. We only use the 3-digit, but some government agencies go out to 5-digit. And when we're shopping anyway, we use the 3-digit. And so that's how we target what we're after. That's how we find the exact vendor that we're looking for. We have an electronic bid and proposal system. We utilize a platform called Bonfire. You can take a look at this platform on the county's website under the purchasing department. The Bonfire interface is there. This is an example of what you may see, the bids and requests for proposal that are listed. I did an image snapshot for you of things that have been awarded or closed recently. You can see Ronald Reagan and Via de Siena traffic signal, refrigeration appliance repairs, cul-de-sac and straight section, fog seal, spring of 2025. We had a crack seal bid and engineering services for Tracy Chambers Lane. And so that's the interface that you'll see when you want to see what's the county bidding currently. And that's what vendors see, right, when they hop into our pages and see if there's anything that they can submit a bid for. We touched on cooperative purchasing a minute ago. This is a huge time saver for all local government. It exists on the national level as well. And this is where different organizations get together and competitively bid contracts that everybody's using. So we're not having to oftentimes reinvent the wheel for uniforms, right? For medication. We're not having to redo a bid. A lot of these things have been competitively procured through cooperative organizations. And if we can find what we need, right, and it meets our required laws, we're going to pounce on that contract, so we're not having to redo it. Our shop is also part of the surplus auction. So as things reach their end of useful life, right, vehicles or equipment, computer equipment, those things don't just get thrown out. They get auctioned, folks. We're trying to sell those things and recoup whatever we can. We use numerous platforms to get this done. Our partners right now are GovDeals and Renee Bates Auctioneers. You can hop in there, search Williamson County, and you'll see everything that we are trying to sell. We do support what we call a 3-way partnership in our shop. We have our requesting departments, right? Our 67 departments. We have our team in purchasing who's there to help them facilitate the buy of what they need. And we have our suppliers. And it takes all of us working together to make sure departments have what they need. We do track vendor performance. If it's unsatisfactory, right? End users are encouraged to document and report unsatisfactory vendor performance as it relates to providing goods and services in Williamson County. And why would we do that? Why would we track a non-performer? So we don't hire them again, right? We've got to document it so we can tell our story later and justify why we're not hiring someone later. Also on our website, if you're curious, we do have a How to Do Business with Williamson County guide. It's about 10 pages there, talks about a lot of the things we've covered today, but also a little more in depth, easy to find on our webpage. Our contact information, we're also located in this building. Should you have any questions, happy to answer today or any other time. Any specific questions? Yes, sir.
I have two, actually. Do you use small business set-asides Like woman-owned, minority-owned?
Do you know, those laws are interesting. There's a requirement at the municipal level, at the city level, to notify $3,000 and above, notify historically underutilized businesses of business opportunities. The requirement doesn't exist at the county level. We are often pulling from a state database anyway when we send our notifications. A lot of times we notify just as part of our standard process. There's not a requirement at the county level. When you get to the federal level, a lot of federally let project funds do have that requirement as well. It's an insightful question.
And the middle category of, like, I think it was 10,049.
Yes.
To have 3 bids. What if you only get 2? What do you do?
Well, we hold out for 3, sir. Yes. Good question.
Oh, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Because of the economy and what's happening to us, you know, through the purchasing process, things may change. I know there's a set budget for a certain project.
Yes.
But that during that project, unforeseen things happen. There has to come up an increased payment to take care of that. That goes back to, well, for the city, it goes back to the council members to vote on it, up or down. Does that happen in the county as well, and does it go to the county commissioners for approval?
It certainly does. We have regulation in regards to any change orders. We would call that a change order in the context that you're bringing it up. And in fact, yes, we have a limit of 25%. Doesn't mean the budget's there. I mean, the budget has to be. If the budget's not there, the budget's not there. But there's a 25% limit on any contract change order, and that does require Commissioner's Court approval. Yes, lots of oversight. Excellent question. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned earlier in the slides about a savings.
Yes.
How do you calculate what you're saving?
That's an excellent question. Thank you for asking that. In that specific figure, our best data is based on our road construction data. And when we design a road and then let the bid for a road, our engineer that is contracted for that project, to your point, puts forward an engineering estimate. And then we know we have budget for it, and we know we can go to bid and know where we need to be. We actually disclose that engineer's estimate to the marketplace so that contractors also know, this is the anticipated budget for this road. For example. So we're comparing what the engineer's estimate is, which is typically pretty spot on, compared to what we're able to award that contract for. So right now, over a 3-year period, we're tracking that 7% savings. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Joy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Super.